Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Atib Osman from KAM 104B with the task that have been provided by Sir Shahmizan, which is to analyse three pillars of ASEAN Community 2015 as a platform to achieve ASEAN vision. Firstly, the establishment of the Association of Southeast Nations, or also known as ASEAN. A meeting among representatives from Malaysia, Indonesia and Thailand was held at Bangkok, Thailand to discuss an idea of regional integration from 29th May 1966 to 1st June 1966. Later on, ASEAN was founded by ASEAN Declaration, or also known as Bangkok Declaration. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, was established by the founding fathers of ASEAN, namely Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore and Thailand in 8 August 1967. Subsequently, Brunei Darussalam entered on 7 January 1984, Vietnam on 28 July 1995, Laos PDR and Myanmar on 23 July 1997 and Cambodia on 30 April 1999, which making up the 10 ASEAN member states today. Moving on, these are three of the ASEAN main aims and purposes, which are to accelerate the economic growth, social progress and cultural development in the region through joint endeavours in the spirit of equality and partnership in order to strengthen the foundation for a prosperous and peaceful community of Southeast Asian nations. Secondly, to promote regional peace and stability through upholding respect for justice and the rule of law in the relationship among countries of the region and adherence to the principles of the United Nations Charter. Thirdly, to promote active collaboration and mutual assistance on matters of common interest in the economic, social, cultural, technical, scientific and administrative field. This is the ASEAN organizational structure which was provided in the ASEAN main webpage.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aini Sofia binti Ahmad Zaki. I am from KM 104B. I will continue with ASEAN Community Vision 2025. The member of the Association of Southeast ASEAN have celebrated the formal establishment of the ASEAN Community Vision 2025 at the 27th ASEAN Summit in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. ASEAN Vision 2025 is an integrated, peaceful and stable community with shared prosperity built upon the aspiration and commitment to the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia. ASEAN Community Vision 2025 in terms of political security community. Firstly, to realize a rules-based community that fully adhere to ASEAN fundamental principles, share values and norms as well as principles of international law governing the peaceful conduct of relations among states. Secondly, to realize a community that enhances maritime security and maritime cooperation for peace and stability in the region and beyond through ASEAN. Number 3, to realize a community in the interest of developing friendly and mutually beneficial relations. For example, beneficial relations from dialogue partners and strengthen engagement with other external parties. Next, we move to the ASEAN Economic Community. ASEAN Economic Community 2025 highly integrated with the global economy. Firstly, the Vision ASEAN Economic Community undertake to achieve a highly integrated and cohesive regional economy that supports sustained high economic growth by increasing trade, investment and job creation. Number 2, to enhance connectivity and sectoral cooperation with improvements in regional frameworks. Number 3, to achieve a competitive and dynamic community which is fosters robust productivity growth through the creation and practical application of knowledge. For example, by embracing the evolving digital technology. In terms of ASEAN social cultural community, firstly, the vision is undertake to realize an inclusive community that promotes high quality of life. For example, to promote and protect human rights of women, children, youth, marginalized group, and so on. Number 2, to realize a resilient community with enhanced capacity and capability to adapt, respond to social and economic vulnerabilities, disasters, climate change, as well as emerging threats and challenges. Number 3 is to realize a committed, participative, and socially responsible community through accountable and inclusive mechanism for benefits of the people in the ASEAN.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurain Nabila binti Muhammad Syafiq. So this is the elements under the Asian Economic Community, which is the competitive innovation and dynamic Asian. These elements is to provide increase the level competitiveness and the productivity within the Asian member state. So Asian has adopted an effective policy which is provide a level playing field to the Asian member state to ensure the well functioning and healthy competition market. So due to implement on the international requirement, Asian member state has agreed to translate this policy into English, and it has been annexed in the Asian Handbook on 2017. So there is another initiative which is self-assessment toolkit that provide the measure and the evaluation of the effectiveness of the CPL among the agency or among the Asian member state. So this measure or evaluation are the reference for the regional peer review that will contribute to the development or improvement of the CPL. So here there is another strategy which is development 5-year regional capacity building, which is the assistance for the CPL. It is the supporting mechanism for the CPL, which provide the workshop to review the guidelines, and also was to support the enforcement of CPL. It is enforced under the Asian Competition Action Plan. So this is to create a fair, modern and effective marketplace where there is a information exchange between the Asian authorities and also the consumer. It is to ensure the consumer will make a right choice by giving them an information through the education, and also providing a mechanism to hear their complaint, their voice. So there is implementation of Asian high-level principles that provide the guidelines for the consumer protection towards among the AMS. So it is to promote a common base level of the cooperation, and they address 3 gaps, which is legislative, information and implementation. So for the legislative, the authorities need to observe regarding the issue that arise in the concurrent jurisdiction, which minimize the duplication. It is refers to the complaint system. Another initiative is the authorities need to advise and educate the consumer from buying or have a business with the supplier who provide a harmful goods and service. It is also to create awareness and enhance the advocacy. It is this is to ensure that the consumer do the right choice to buy the goods and service. So to enlarge the Asian market and reduce the transportation and trade costs, it is to enhance the economic connectivity that involved in the various sectors such as transport, telecommunication and energy. So for the land transport, there is 2 project, which is Singapore Kunming Railing and also Asian High Network Asian highway network. So land transport is the medium of the movement, goods, service, capital and people. So here for SKRL project is to connect the main capital within 6 regions, which is Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia and Southern China. There are 2 lines, which is Eastern lines and Western lines. So here there is a missing links between the Poi Pet and Sesefort, which is Cambodia, and also Aranya Pratet and Klong Lup. However, Thailand has completed the missing links with the full fund of the Thai government, but Cambodia are still in progress, which is there are some missing links are not being completed yet. So AHN is another project, but it is the same like the SKRL, but it is for the road or the highway. So another strategy is the ICT, which refers to the internet. So there is the USO 2.0 that provide a workshop and policies to develop the USO 2.0. So this framework is not being fully implemented, and as it has to be implemented, it should be implemented in 2020. So there is a framework and service access, and it needs to upgrade the networks to 5G. So there is another strategy which is to focus on the connectivity within the ASEAN. There are some region in the ASEAN which has been isolated, which is they don't have the connectivity or the network. So ASEAN has to support and to ensure that the region can afford the broadband to ensure there is a connection in internet connection in those regions. So this is the last strategies for these elements, and also for the AEC, which is the tourism. So the tourism is based on regarding the marketing strategy, which is to showing off or advertise the Asian region towards the eyes of the world, as the tourism sector has contributed more in the Asian economy. So ASEAN has focused on the traditional marketing by using the social media to to advertise the Asian culture, each Asian region culture, to attract the potential tourists. And also this is the positioning and branding the ASEAN in its market, which is clarify the suitable place or the famous place on each region, for example Mekong River, and also like the skyscraper on each region like KLCC, to make the tourists remember as the landmark of the each state. Last but not least is the SWOT analysis, which is to determine the threat, the strength and also the opportunities that comes from the marketing strategy.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fakir binti Ahmad Tajuddin, and I'm from KAM 110-4B. So the political security is the platform to achieve the vision ASEAN of 2025, whereby they must cooperate in getting the description to keep their own safety and right of each country. So the country that involved in the ASEAN vision, they will cooperate or make a discussion together to overcome any barrier or any challenges occurred in their state. The main reason to ensure that people and member states of ASEAN is because to live in harmony and peace one to another. It could be lead in keeping the safety of people by improving the security of each country together, and they will strengthen the capacity of ASEAN in responding to regional and international challenges, so they can overcome it together. They will solve it together, and they will live in peace and harmony by themselves without any interference with other countries. There were several elements that has been stated in the Asian political security in the Asian Vision 2025, where was a rule-based, people-oriented, people-centered community. So it was to respect and promote Asian fundamental principles, share values and norms. Where there will the first strategy, the ASEAN Charter must be duly and successfully applied to ensure full implementation of all aspects of the ASEAN. It was to ensure the yearly adoption and successful implementation of ASEAN Charter legal instrument. So it will allow the ASEAN to function fully as a regulatory organization by provide the privilege and immunities and the protocol to the ASEAN Charter on dispute the settlement mechanism. So the second strategy is to respect for the principles of sovereignty, independence, equality, territorial integrity and national non-interference detection. It's the what we call they had to abstain from any policy or activity, including any use of its territory by any member state of ASEAN or non-ASEAN member that will risk sovereignty, territory sovereignty or economic and political stability of the ASEAN member state. They will also introduce the consultation and strengthen the cooperation in overcome any threats and challenges that may affect the security and integrity of ASEAN. So the third strategy in this element is to encourage an understanding about what are relevant there are to promote the holding of academic event conference. So in order to understand about what are relevant, they were holding of the academic conference, seminar, workshop, consider releasing of periodic ASEAN publication for announcing to the public. So for the second, not we call the element, but we also in the rule-based, people-oriented and people-centered community. So they will strengthen the democracy, good governance, promotion and protection of human rights. So the first strategy in this content is the principle of democracy that will be promoted as to share ASEAN experience in practicing democracy and democratic institutions. So this means the democracy system will be practiced to all over the country in the ASEAN to make them their system can become systematic, because we can see the benefit of this democracy system that we ensure the peace and harmony towards the people. So the second in this content is to uphold the culture of good governance and integrity, to mainstream the principle thereof into the policy and practice of the culture of ASEAN. It will help to create the dialogue and cooperation between the government and stakeholders involved in promoting and encouraging new ideas, concepts and methods to improve the transparency, accountability and effective and participatory governance. It must encourage the effective implementation at the certain areas of cooperation. It was because to improve the good governance within the ASEAN community. So this cooperation with the ASEAN country could reduce the number of corruption by implementing the United Nations Convention. Next are the fundamental freedom and social justice, practice and protect human rights to ensure our people live with dignity, peace and harmony. So this to domestic legislation and institution must be strengthened by ASEAN member state, and they were able to what we call the ratify or core international human rights instrument. So it will enhance the integration of human rights across all industry of three ASEAN community pillars, which is community, political community, social culture community, and economic community. So, and the public awareness of the human rights should be taken seriously. So the second element of this ASEAN political security is a peaceful, secure and stable region. To enhance the ASEAN capacity to address non-traditional security issue. So the ASEAN will pursue about aspiration of drug-free ASEAN on strengthen the role of ASEAN ministerial meeting on drug matters. So on this part, the cooperation of a consistent with the another country to continue to work towards a drug-free ASEAN, where it can signify ASEAN's stability and dedication to safeguarding people and community from illegal drugs. So it will prevent any drug spread with the another in the certain country, and then we go to the inspection or make any roadblock in the ASEAN. And they also provide the education and advocacy program targeting all sectors of society, especially for the young generation, because the most seller of this drug is come from the youth generation. So the second strategy is to enhance cooperation against trafficking in person and people smuggling that are ensure that the ratification of the ASEAN Convention against trafficking in person, especially women and children. So this is the strategy of the Asian political security that stated in order to keep their safety by continue to enhance the cooperation against the terrorism. They had implemented what we call the plan of action against the trafficking in person, and it must give strengthened criminal justice response as well as a preventive measure to trafficking in person, and in order to protect the victim of trafficking in accordance with a relevant ASEAN instrument, especially to the women and the children, because it's the most targeted level that will affect the most. So the second strategy is promotes exchange between defense official and visit between military training institution to gain trust and mutual understanding. ASEAN regional forum process will advance towards the preventive diplomacy through the effective implementation, which is ASEAN Regional Forum Preventive Diplomacy Work Plan 2011. From this program, they also compile the best practice on confidence building method to prevent diplomacy and any conflict resolution for the further development. So it was to promote the confidence building measure and preventive diplomacy activity. So the second part of this element is to resolve differences and dispute by peaceful means in accordance with the ASEAN Charter and principle of international law. So the first strategy in this part is the participation should be active in peacekeeping and post-conflict peace building effort by the ASEAN member states. They were encouraging to promote the ASEAN Regional Mine Action Center to study, document, and share good practice to address the humanitarian aspect of landmines. It was to what we call explore the possibility of establishing the database by enhancing dialogue and cooperation with the peacekeeping center and academic institution in other regions. So the effort of post-conflict peace building is to promote human rights, was to draw up the guideline for training, design training programs, in identify the priority topics and implement annual program in the each target area. So the second strategy in this part is the continuation to promote and strengthen peace-oriented values is need undertake study to increase the cooperation in reconciliation. So this is need to developing cooperation post-conflict restructuring and rehabilitation by what we call by participate in this part of the public. It was involved the encouragement of comprehensive input of academia, non-governmental organisation, community groups, and promote the understanding of the intercommunal through the ASEAN's activity.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Khadijah binti Muhammad Nasaruddin, and I will continue with the Asian social cultural community, which is the first characteristic is engage and benefits the people. The objective of the first point is to attract more participation of the Asian people through the platform that have been provided to them. It is to ensure that people can participate and contribute in Asian process. Next point state about the benefits and initiative. All benefits and initiatives such as policy making initiative and development program that have been provided can ensure that the Asian community can establish and implement the ASCC 2025. The first strategy is engage stakeholder in Asian process. For the first and second point, through the policy that have been provided is to ensure that all the stakeholders are playing their role in taking part of implementation the ASCC. The promotion of partnership is important to the Asian because they need to get some support from the stakeholders to create an efficient and effectiveness in creating the ASCC. It is also to ensure that it can be run smoothly in the implementation of Asian initiative and also the promotion of public awareness of ASCC programs and accomplishment. Next strategy is empower people and strengthen the institution. The increasing number of competencies help to improve the number of institutional and also the capacity in order to overcome the current challenge such as disaster and pandemic. For the second point, the technologies can make people have more strong relationship with others because of the connection that have been done through the communication technologies and by sharing the information among the community. For the next point, it is to ensure that all people have been contributing in the development of Asian capacity building programs. From this, it can make them achieve or gain some benefits from it, such as benefits to their respective communities. Now we move on to the next characteristic, which is inclusive. From the first point, their life circle need to be guided by the life approach based on the principle of Asian policies in the ASCC pillar because it need to be relevant with the current issue and the policies for them to solve the problems and fulfill the needs of the people. The objective of second point is to promote and improvement quality of life, add barrier to the enjoyment of equitable access of opportunities for the Asian people and protect or promote the human rights. First strategy is reducing barrier. The guideline need to be provided for the quality care and support for those groups such as women, children, older person and many more. It is to ensure that people aware about the needs by those groups in order to reduce the inequality that exists in the society. From the next point, we can see that the information and communication technology that have been provided to them can reduce the barrier. Next strategy is equitable access for all. From the enhancement of regional platform and the program under ASCC also enhance the effectiveness in particularly areas such as social protection, universal health coverage, food safety, and decent work. Analysis and database also including on poverty and equity among the poor people in order for them to access to education, employment opportunities, and entrepreneurship. For the last strategy is promotion and protection of human rights. The regional initiative need to relevant because it wants to improve the protection and promotion of the right of worker and also for migrant worker. For the next point, the participation of stakeholders has promoted the elimination of all form discrimination, such as violence and abuse against women, children, youth, and many more.